right, guys, listen, every investor knows that the data game is broken. You are paying for outdated lists, chasing cold leads, and buying the same recycled data as your competition. That is why so many deals are slipping through your fingertips, and you're building a business based on rotten information. But listen up, the next big wave of data is here. AI, solid data that you can trust, and blockchains are now rewriting how investors access, trust, and consume data. And the ones who adapt will dominate, and the rest, they're going to get left behind. So welcome to the Closers Club, where real investors come and learn what's really working right now so that you can close faster, work less, and stay ahead of the pack. Today, I'm joined by my good friend, Alicia Jarrett. I always butcher her name. I feel so bad. She is the co-founder of Supercharged Offers. And today she's going to introduce SIFTR, a revolutionary new platform that combines AI, big data, and blockchain to give investors the cleanest, smartest, most actionable real estate investor data that we have ever seen. Let's start with this, Alicia. Thank you so much for coming in. Why is real estate data, why is it all so broken? And what happens to investors who trust that old data that's just not good?
Yeah, David, thank you so much for having me. And by the way, you didn't butcher my name. You said it perfectly. So
okay, good. The whole time I was reading that, I'm like, do not mess this up.
Awesome. So thanks for the intro there as well. Most people, if they do recognize the face or the voice, because obviously that's the first thing that most people recognize. Yes. So Alicia is my name, guys. And yes, we've got superchargedoffers.com focused on real estate data, marketing, cold calling, direct mail, all of those things that we all need. But SIFTR Solutions is our new entity. And the reason why we started this, David, comes back to that question that you just asked, which is, why data? What's the problems with it? What are we trying to solve here? David, have a guess, first of all, how much the American market spends on just real estate data per year. Just have a guess.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say 225,000 or 225 million.
Actually, $30 billion is spent on data every year across the US.
What?
Yeah.
That's
anyone in the real estate space, it's huge, right? That's massive. But here's the other thing. More than 70% of that data actually goes to waste. It goes to waste because enterprises don't know how to implement properly. People are not data experts. Let's face it, guys. If you're watching this, you're a real estate expert. You're not a data expert, right? It's a totally different ballgame. So data goes to waste. It's not consumed at the right time. It's not managed appropriately. So a lot of people that you and I know, David, they've got a whole bunch of leads sitting in their CRM, but that data is already outdated by the time they've looked at it. If it's been sitting in there for 3 or 4 months or more, it's probably needing updating, right? So we're seeing in the industry that in order to get results when it comes to marketing and outreach and things, number one, you've got to have good, clean data, but you need to work with a company that understands not only how to treat that data, but how to consume it and update it and keep it refreshed in a way that's going to make sure that your marketing is always top of mind as well.
Yeah. And because data is constantly changing, right? People are moving, phone numbers change, there's so much.
So much. And here's the thing, we've got a smart data mart, David, that's got a whole bunch of data in it. We're talking every property, every mortgage, MLS records. We're doing some image annotation stuff in our data to look at some AI stuff around images of properties. The list goes on, but we've got a lot of stuff in there. Here's the interesting fact. On average, most of the properties in our database have got over 2,000 attributes. So let's just think about that for a second. It only takes one of those attributes to change, and all of a sudden the record's out, depending upon your use case for it, right? So stuff changes rapidly, and we've got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, and gosh, this is so different from how it was when I first started. Now the access to data and amazing software like this, it just puts, all of your dreams at your fingertips. You just have to reach out and grab it. We just popped up a link there. We'll put it in the show notes as well, but make sure that you are visiting, that link, Supercharged Offers, so that you can start to utilize this stuff in your business. Because the old way, right, was I'm going to go to the courthouse and I'm going to pull records and I'm going to, it was so time intensive, and that is not what we should be doing as investors, right? We should be out there making sure that we're spending our time talking to sellers and buyers. So I love all of the different things that you guys are doing to provide data for investors.
Yep, I love it. And here's the thing where we're moving to. So if we think about the SIFTR model, we've got, by the way, guys, if you go to SIFTR.net, you'll see our initial model there. we are moving from what's called a Web 2 into a Web 3 environment. Now, for the non-tech people on the call, don't expect you to understand that, guys. But essentially, what we're noticing at the rate of technology changing and the way that technology is going, like, I don't know about you, David, on a daily, I'm having to update myself on what's AI doing today? What's this doing
I
today?
know.
Right? So where we're moving to, in the very near future, guys, how you consume anything on the internet is going to start to change, right? We go from this current model where you order a product or service and you put in your details and it's done. More and more businesses are going to be going what we call on-chain, where their model of doing business, the way that they allow people to consume their products and services is all going to be monetized on the blockchain. So we're starting to look at that now. And for a lot of people listening, they're probably thinking to themselves, yeah, I get that we can put properties on the blockchain, like we can tokenize a deal. But what we're doing, David, is we're tokenizing data. And we're creating a new category in the real estate industry where data now becomes a liquidity that you can trade, which is pretty cool. But more than that, we're really looking at how people. Sorry, go. I think we've got a slight delay on the interwebs.
Yeah, that's okay. I think you're back. You said we're looking. Tell me what we're looking at again.
Yeah, so what we're really looking at, what was my train of thought there? We're really looking at a new consumption model for how people not only ask for data, but how they get it into their systems and how that data is refreshed. So to give you an example, what we're working on at the moment is what we call the SIFTR Insights Agent. It's the hub that sits in the middle of our data mart, and it's driven by AI. We're training AI at the moment on our entire data mart. But let's just do some interesting use cases here, David, and tell me what you think. So at the moment, let's just say I'm a roofing company, right? Because we're doing everything in both real estate investing, mortgage, lending, construction, contracting, etc. Roofers, pretty difficult market. Like there's a lot of competition out there to go after people to get a new roof. So what if a roofer could go into a system and talk to the system and say, hey, SIFTR, which is why we've called it SIFTR. Hey, SIFTR, tell me all the houses within my area that I have a license in that have not had any improvements over the last 10 plus years. There's been no permits pulled for that property for the last 10 plus years. The property itself has got more than $50,000 equity in it. And tell me all the lenders that would pre-approve that property in the area so that I can have a talk to my prospect about maybe refinancing their property, using that to put a new roof on so they keep insured, and now we've increased the value of their property as well. That's all in one.
So now, you can actually tap into the permits too? That's incredible.
Yep, we're amalgamating and starting to farm a lot of different data, David. So that's just one use case, right? But I like to use that use case because I think everyone can relate to the fact that as I tell that story, you're already starting to identify like 4 or 5 different places that roofing company would currently have to go. And then they need to be a data expert to put it all together, right?
Right, right. No, I love that. Gosh, it's so simple. I remember back when I was selling building materials, I had to log in and I couldn't even manipulate. I had to print off this long form of everybody who's pulled a permit. So this is absolutely amazing. And guys, what's cool here is, and what I love about real estate investors is we're so good at looking at that data and figuring out how to sort of manipulate that for our uses. But you have to have good data. None of that works without good information that we can take and trust, right? Because we're going to spend marketing dollars on all this. And, every dollar that we go out should come back with 4 or 5, maybe even 10 friends. So we want to make sure that we're not, as we said in the opening here, not wasting our money.
Yeah, and as I said in the beginning, right, when we were doing our research before we decided that this was the direction we were going to go, we found that a lot of enterprises out there, as I said, 70% of data is wasted. And even if you think about this with people that do, outreach, cold calling, SMS, often their response rates are only in about the 5 or 6% range. What are they doing with the other 94 to 95% of the data? It's just sitting there, right? So how can we get them to not only utilize that and start to push it into different types of marketing, but also have a two-way sync with their database? So as they're updating deals, it's updating the data mart, and therefore everyone's starting to consume better and more refreshed data. So lots of different things we're working on there, David, which is very exciting.
So you have something for everybody, not just real estate investors, right? Realtors, plumbers, anybody that's doing any type of marketing. So if your business is out there and you're thinking, how do I get more clients? Well, data is always the answer. And, it can be as specific and broad as you want, or as specific as you want. And the more specific you make it, of course, the smaller your list will probably get. Or you can shoot super broad, like just a big fish net and throw it out in the ocean and pull in whatever you can. So I love that you give people that option.
Yeah, it's a work in progress at the moment. We've got a whole team working on this in the background, David. Yeah. So guys, if we're not ready to release the AI yet, but we're in the process of building that out, and we're super excited to be able to release that very, very shortly to everyone. But
so
at the
can
moment,
people get
guys,
on the list so that they're first in line?
Yeah. Yep. If you go to SIFTR.net and register as an early adopter, we will be sure to reach out to you when the release comes out as well. But we're already working with a lot of mortgage lenders and brokers, David. And what I'm loving about that you would think that a mortgage broker, especially if you're a big mortgage lender or broker that's got a team, that your systems, your processes, your data, you'd have that pretty dialed in. Right. I'm actually finding the opposite. Again, these people are great at originating loans, but they're not data experts, right?
No,
so what we're having to just like any customer, we're having to really go in and help them with their strategy and what data is applicable to what they're doing, and make sure that we're providing that in a way that they can really implement efficiently and start to see results.
I love that. Talk a little bit about what you do over at the core business at Supercharged Offers, and what was it that kind of pushed you in the direction of, hey, I need to really get deeper into this AI?
Yeah, thanks for that question, David. So Supercharged Offers, for those that don't know, we've been around now for coming up 6 years, which is pretty amazing. So Supercharged Offers is a one-stop shop data and marketing company for those in the real estate investing space. What we're doing there is really helping you to understand your strategy, gathering all the data that you need for that strategy, and implementing that across cold outreach and direct mail with a strategy around all of it, so that we're managing multiple touch points for your prospects.
Love that. And you've been able to help investors just absolutely grow their business and just get out of the weeds. And this is one thing we talk about all the time. In order to grow your business, you cannot be doing it all. It's impossible. Yes. You should not be downloading these big lists and then just going through and manually scrubbing it, which is what I used to do, which is a crazy waste of time, right? All of us were amazing at one or two things. And, the way to make your business grow is to spend your time on those things. Use a resource like Supercharged Offer and SIFTR to come in and just supplement, right? So that we can really focus our time, because there's only so many hours in the day. And we want to make sure we're getting the best use out of it, not doing dopey administrative work.
Yeah, you got it, David. And I've often spoken about this. I think you and I have mentioned this on another call. I can't remember, but there's a really good book out there. It's an old book now, so I'm wondering how relevant it would be. But the message is still the same, and it's called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Oh, yes. Somebody mentioned that to me the other day.
Oh, interesting. Really old book, right? But what it says is true. The E stands for the entrepreneurial myth, guys. So if you're listening and what's the E myth? It's the entrepreneurial myth, which basically says that a lot of people who are good at what they do, you're good at real estate, you're good at deals, you're good at this. Then they go, great, let me start a whole business in this. But running a business and wearing all those hats, that's a whole different skill set, right? So what we're really trying to do is alleviate some of that pressure for the business owner, be that the real estate investor, the contractor, the agent, the broker, whoever it is, get them to really focus on the stuff that matters. Let us do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, guys, you cannot do it all. It's impossible. I thought that in the very beginning. I was nobody's smarter than me, nobody's as good as me, nobody can work as hard as me, and wore that, that as a badge of honor of the control freak thing. But it's just not, you're not going to get past doing one, maybe 2 deals a month if you're in a row to have your second plumbing truck or your third plumbing truck or whatever it is. So, we want efficiencies. That's what we seek in in our businesses, right? Like how do we make things just run smoother? And it can't be this clunky, like, okay, I'm working on, marketing one day and now I'm, closing deals and now I'm back to marketing or, closings or whatever it is. So we 100% have to bring in those resources. And now it's so cost effective, right? Back in the old days, back when I started, it was bring in a bookkeeper, bring in a property manager, bring in a transaction coordinator, bring in a data person. I used to pay somebody years and years ago over $40,000 plus bonus just to manage data and scrub data for me. Where now I can do it for a couple $100 a month and boom, and it's on demand. And I'm not constantly asking this question. Okay, what are we going to target today, right? That can all be done and literally at at the click of a mouse. So I absolutely love what you're doing and see so much value in it for investors. So I'd highly encourage you click on that link and, definitely check this out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, David.
Nice. Well, listen, guys, Alicia, she's bringing something that most investors have only dreamed about, right? We just talked about that. Clean, actionable data powered by AI and big data and putting it on the blockchain. So when you click on, or when you tap into SIFTR, you're not working off of all of these recycled lists that everybody else and their brother has already gone through. It's something very precise, and you can start to work with like sniper-like precision and make absolute decisions on deals and people that are going to help you grow your business. So again, if you want to see the future of real estate data for yourself, go check it out. It's SIFTR.net, SIFTR.net. Is that right?
You got it, David.
Awesome. It is your chance to get ahead of the curve and start operating like an investor who dominates in any market, not just one or two. So thank you so much for hanging out with us here today on the Closers Club. This is where investors learn how to close more, close fast, and work less. If you got value from today, make sure that you share this episode with another investor who is serious about scaling and growing their business. And if you're ready to stop bleeding deals, head over to Easy REI Closings and let our team show you how you can grow your business on that side. My friend, thank you so much for coming on. I always appreciate it. So great to spend time with you.
Thank you, David, for letting me talk about the future.
You bet. I love it. It's exciting.
It's an exciting time to be alive, and it's exciting time to be in business with so many technological advances at our fingertips. So yeah, really happy with where we're changing the game, right?
Changing so rapidly. I can't wait as we get a little bit closer to the launch. I definitely want to bring you on and let's do some demos and let's absolutely show people what is possible out there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, David, and thanks everyone for tuning in.